Thank you very much. It was really fun, and I feel that I'm going to be a bit of a letdown. I'm going to start, so I'm just going to do it more graciously and elaborately. I'm going to start by thanking everybody very much again for coming here, for presenting, also for being in the audience, and for taking some time out of your life to spend a few days and coming days also to learn and work together on evaluation. I'm going to tell a story, in fact 2 stories. So once upon a time, there was a young graduate student at Harvard who was called Ted. And he went to Kenya and he started working on worms. And all the other students made fun of him because studying worms is not very sexy. They were all working about growth and about very important financial issues. They were making a very big difference. And he was working on these small and uninteresting issues. Meanwhile, in France, they did not waste their time on such things. They always knew what was right. Whenever they had a problem, they passed a new law. Then they claimed success, and the world watched with wonder. But Ted was not discouraged. He collected data in treatment and control schools, and he showed that students were more likely to go to school regularly when they were in the treatment school. When his results were compared to that of programs, he found it to be the most cost-effective policies to get students to attend school. In fact, since then, another program came up, but by that time, that's what he said. For $100, he got 29 years of extra years of education, where all of the things that people were talking about were so much less effective. Meanwhile, in France, the government was getting a little scared. Angry youths were burning cars. They did not seem so enthusiastic about the great policies the government was dreaming up for them. Ted was now a professor, and Deworm the World was created to encourage the take-up of deworming all over Africa and the world. But his colleagues, now also professors, continued to tease him. Right, they said, they go to school. But deworming was not going to make Africa grow. This was a small answer to small questions. It was important to think about big answers to big questions. Meanwhile, in France, a group of wise men finally thought of a solution to the problem of the caste. Let's do better than a law. Let's change the constitution. Now, experimentation will be allowed, or even encouraged. The African government were not derailed by all this talk about big solutions, etc. And they embarked on the deworming program. Kenya adopted the policy and they dewormed 3.8 million children. And Ted and many other friends showed that deworming increases wage more than 20%. This was more than many years of good growth. And in fact, we don't know how to generate it. This was more than many years of bad growth. Meanwhile, in France, a fund was created. 200 million euros were made available to try out new policies. Heralds were dispatched all over the Republic with the news. Anyone could come and propose a new idea. It didn't have to be right. It just needed to show some promise. And experimentation would determine whether that would work. People from all of the Republic come up with their ideas, small and big. I think we need to pause and realize how important these stories are. They're not bedtime fairy tales, because they're not fairy tales, they're real, as you know, I'm just recounting them, you heard them today. And they're not small tales, they are epics. They show us, in their most different way, how the process of policy debates and how the process of policy design can be radically transformed, starting from a very small, modest project like the Kenya project, or starting from a real government initiative like the French experiment. JPAL is mainly known, as you may have heard, for randomized evaluation. In fact, that's what we do. But randomization is not our end. Randomization is our tool. We are really about something more. We are about how researchers and policymakers can come together to make sure that policy is informed by evidence. When we started our work, let's say 15 years ago, give or take, before JPAL existed, even before we met with Millie for the first time, many people told us there is no time for evidence. we are doing important work, we have to carry on with your work and our work. Well, you guys who are paid to do nothing can indulge in the pursuit of science and try to publish in the best journal that no one read anyway. But this conference, and everything we heard today, was a clear demonstration that this is changing. A lot of people, 245 projects exist within the JPAL network. All of these projects, almost every single one of them, has a policy partner with either a government or an NGO or a private firm. So people definitely are making some time for evidence. And I think what we've seen today is that the evidence can also change the policy down the line. So what is our hope for JPAL Africa? I think maybe it's even, the policy disease is even worse in Africa. Too many people come to Africa with their own very strong views about what needs to be done. Could be menstrual cups, free markets, nothing. There are also many people, and we've heard today from the Ghana Education Service, the Zambian Health Ministry, sorry, we didn't actually, but we had Soul with us, Minister Manuel yesterday, who are seeking solutions and who are experimenting with them. JPAL's dream, and we are pretty pragmatic dreamers, so I think this is our plan too, is to play a role in facilitating this process of innovation and evaluation. We are going to start training. I guess today we started. Tomorrow we are continuing. Partners on the ground that already have started, we're going to continue that in a big way. Talk to policymakers, to try to understand their priorities, do something that is useful and that is perceived to be useful. Not only is we think is useful, but is actually put forward as a possible solution, like in today's talk, and share the lessons from what we found, positive or negative.